Alright, so coming at you from Memphis, Tennessee. We did just get in. We did our delivery in northern Mississippi. It's called Olive Branch, Mississippi. It's just south of the border here, and so we are at the Memphis terminal. Basically, I had to take my my midterm review, which was pretty simple. Just a few questions on the Qualcomm macros, which is kind of like inputting, arrived at destination, need new load, breakdown, going to be late, all these different sorts of, they call them macros. So I took the midterm. I only missed one. You had to bust out a like an atlas thing and route something, or a trip from, I think, like Alabama or Arkansas up to Oregon, and I missed one on route restrictions in Oregon. Anyway, so we got out of Yuma. I had to get out of the hotel at about 11, and we weren't supposed to leave until about 4:35. So my mentor brought me to his house, and we just hung out. And his wife speaks only Spanish, so it was kind of like, gracias. Pretty much that's all I could really say. But she did make us dinner, which was really good. And we finally got on the road to Phoenix, picked up our load. And one funny thing we saw once we got the trailer and were on the road, we saw this guy. It was a 45-mile-an-hour zone. This guy's going about 37, and there's a cop SUV like right behind him. And usually when someone's going too slow, it usually is an indicator of some sort of guilt or something. But we could see from our vantage point the guy was actually texting. And so we were kind of watching the whole thing, and finally, boop, there goes the sirens, and gets pulled over. So it's pretty cool, the vantage point you have being so high up. And then before we even left Yuma, he parked his truck off the side of the road for a few days, and it had rained, and so some mud had accumulated around the tires. And I was doing the pre-trip, hitting the tires and checking them, and I stepped in some mud, and it took 10 minutes to at least wipe them off, and then it was kind of an ordeal. So I learned that lesson. If there's mud, move the truck up 15 feet. It doesn't always have to be right there at that moment. So other than that, another funny incident was in Texas. I was driving at night, and I saw this cop on the side of the road. Not his flashers on, just his regular lights, his brake lights, and right when I pass him, he pulls in behind me. So I kind of was like, all right, what did I do? I was going 67 into 75. I wasn't doing anything wrong. And he pulls behind me, pulls off to the left, comes right in front of me, and cuts between me and this car, and he starts tailing this car. I don't know why he was doing it. Maybe saw that guy texting, I'm not sure. Rides it for about 2 minutes, and then pulls off the side of the freeway again. Right as I pass him, he pulls in behind me again, goes around my left, and gets behind this guy again. It reminded me of like Super Troopers, like this cop, messing with this guy. So I don't know what they're doing in Texas, but the other thing that I'm kind of unfortunate or kind of disappointed about is, I store my bag up top, and one time at the beginning it had fallen, and my laptop was in it, and it was all good and fine. And my mentor was like, you got to stick it off to the side so the cabinets will block it. So I did that. It's all good and fine. Got that down, except I left the bag open, and while I'm driving, I hear this big thud. Turns out the open bag had the laptop basically fell out. It didn't fall flat. It fell like between the fridge and the bedding. And then when I opened the fridge, I don't know if I pushed it in more or what, but so I haven't turned it on yet. I hope it's fine, but I did get a little ding and a little scratch. It's only on the bottom, nothing on the top, so aesthetically it still looks pretty good, but I was just kind of disappointed that happened. So other than that, we are heading back to Phoenix. Not sure what we're hauling, but I have been driving nights the past 2 shifts. We made it here in a day and a half, and so kind of fatigued from driving at night, but other than that, I think that's about it. So things are going well. Got the midterm done, halfway through, more than halfway through now, and I will check in in the Pacific time zone.